Hey, Dave Knight. I'm gonna try this again. Last upload I tried did not work, but I wanted to talk about the historic day that we had today in the crude oil futures market. The May contract, May 2020. If you did not know this, like me, yes, the crude oil futures can go below zero. At least the crude oil futures market can go below zero. I bet you there's a lot of people that lost their shirts today going from thinking zero is the end of the road. It would go up. There was a squeeze, obviously, that went on today. We had a squeeze in the market, squeeze in the crude oil futures market. You saw it drop below. Um, you saw it drop. The lowest I saw it was minus 37 today. Uh, the June contract trading at 2025. I think that's where it's closing, and the other contracts roughly sitting around the 2025 mark. But today we saw history. The market can go below zero. The May contract. What does this mean? What exactly does all this mean? It means that there was no, if you're looking at demand and supply, right? So there's a huge amount of supply and there's no demand. Nobody wants crude oil even at zero on the May contract. There's such a supply glut right now that nobody wanted to take delivery of the May contract. So tomorrow is the last trading day, the closing day on the May futures. How is this going to reflect in the overall market come tomorrow, the crude oil futures? Who knows? What I do know is that I've been working on my uh, trading room itself. It's actually a mess right now. I've got all this stuff going on, and I'm moving things around, and I got all my books and whatnot that I'm going through. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be moved and shifted and taken care of. One step at a time. I work from one corner to the next corner, to the next corner, to the next corner, and I'm working on my bookshelves here, putting some of the books that I want to keep up on the bookshelf, things that I've already read and don't need, into storage, and put it into containers and get it out of the office. So I know I had three bags and three big garbage bags coming out. I got rid of my old trading chair that used to have the Steeler logo behind it. Um, I've moved my favorite toy, by the way, my favorite thing that I was able to get in my trading, not recently, but a while ago. This is, let me see if I can get that on there. Just trying to, oh, probably should have flipped this. Can you flip this around? Yes, I can. This is a Silver War chess set. Back in the day, the Franklin Mint made it. And these are the little guys, little chess pieces. So the grays are the Confederates. And then the blues is the Union. The blue is the Union. So I did a video before on this one. This is one of those vision board items that I was able to get from my trading prowess, I guess, or being able to do things. Look at my whiteboard. My whiteboard is actually white right now with the exception of this right here. There's some, if you want to learn anything right there, look at that right there. That in itself is a synopsis of 30 years of trading. Cut losses short, let profits run, take profits on the ride. And you can look at three components, right? Risk management, trade management, money management. And I would say that you have along those lines, you have the psychological management should be another component up on that line there. Now, you have your risk, your trade, money, and your psychological trade management that you should be doing. So this is a mess. This is a total mess. These are all the books that need to be sorted, figured out where I want to put it. Oh, there's my bookcases and here's my one of my lights in here I used, and I'm filming. And I got some of my favorite collections right up there. That's all Calvin and Hobbes information. The Civil War. If you haven't known, was in the Civil War for a while, long time. Stonewall Jackson was my favorite character. And here's another game that I would play back in the day. One of my computers. It's actually the game that I liked the best back in the day was called Civil War Generals 2. And I actually found one of my computers that has everything on it still that I have. Oh yeah, and here's so that you can see that I am making progress. So this is the computer I built right here. It's my gaming computer. My son says I should give it to him. I said no. And here is the trading room itself and then the big ass trading computers on the ground down here. I actually got that from Falcon Computer and a battery backup. And then I have a wired. This is my gaming console and a gaming mouse, but this is the TradeCraze wired. Both of these are wired. I highly recommend that you have wired and not wireless going to your trading platform. So, and then up here, collection of all the kids' videos or pictures. And up here is where I'm going to put some of my trophies and items that I like to keep up here. So slowly making progress. It's my youngest son and oldest. This was I believe this was Brennan getting this fish here. So that was when they were, goodness, they're so little at that point, right? Go back and look at my video content. The very first video I put together. I was looking at that the other day. So anyways, I'm rearranging, getting everything together to get ready for another year. I had promised my wife that I would clean up my office. It's an organized mess right now. So what my plans are is to take, it's a shredder right there, by the way. Would recommend that you invest in a shredder. My plans are to take the books that I have, which I got a ton of books. This is just a small portion of the books that you can see right here. Trading books, history books, but I don't know if you can see all the books on the ground right there that need to be sorted out. All those books and the books in there, all that stuff needs to be sorted and figured out where I want to put. And then I've got these containers here. There's 3 of them that I'm going to be putting things away. Things that I'm not going to be looking at this year. And then here is some more storage. There's a toy chest that was made for me by my Janet. I guess I can call her my aunt. And yes, we do own a vacuum cleaner. And right over there is another storage box that needs to be taken care of. So, and then I've got all this stuff on top is some trading stuff. And hey, Skyrim. Anybody into Skyrim? So all this right here is where I put my bills in. So 2020. So I'll throw that on the ground. These are some of my favorite knickknacks right there. There's the yes man. Just in case you need someone to tell you yes all the time, right? Let's see if he still works. This was my dad's. See if the yes man works. Hold on.
I couldn't agree with you more completely.
Am I a good trader? Yes, man.
Oh yeah, I'm behind you all the way.
Am I the best crude oil trader you ever seen?
I'm sure whatever you're thinking. making is correct.
And what do you think about living in Pennsylvania?
Say, I wish I'd thought of that.
How about this COVID-19 stuff? Do you think it's
What
real?
can I say? When you're right, you're right.
Really? Am I always
How
right?
do you do it?
Let's actually get that back up there, the yes man. All right. That was way too close for comfort there. All right, so I see a tour of the computer layout. So I got to get things straightened. That's our project for the week. Notice that the whiteboard back there is clear. Got to get back to the vision board up here. This is interesting. If you don't have a vision board, I'd highly recommend putting a vision board up. This is some of the kids' projects. There's my BBB accredited business that I am. Right there, 1,000 a year of life. That up there symbolizes how much money I want to make in trading every year. Yeah, as an overall trader, not just day trading. There's some things there's something I got, something that I thought I wanted, something I got, something that I've got, and then whatnot. So, vision board. Vision board. I'd recommend that you have a vision board. Put things up there that you want your trading business to be able to reward you for. And then you see the whiteboard back there. I don't know what I'm going to do with the whiteboard. I put up usually I put up my trading rules and things that I need to do, and some of the odds and ends that make me tick. So right now I'm reading two different things at this point. I'm actually reviewing. Actually, be looking at one more thing too. Let me find it. Course that I took years ago. Of course, now I can't find it. This is some of the stuff that's on here. Peak performance course. Oh. Here's something interesting. So I showed you what they looked like before. Here's what they look like now. I have a soon to be a senior and soon to be a ninth grader. This is Sean, my oldest, and Brennan. So I have another thing that I'm looking for here. Let's see where. So I started stacking crap. Here's the peak performance course. This was a good little course that didn't come to anything. Well, those need to be thrown away. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's some marketing stuff I wanted to save. Oh, I lost it. It's good to be here somewhere, though. It's definitely here. It's just a matter of what did I do with it. Obviously, I've moved it. It's something I wanted to review. As you can tell, organized mess right now. I have it. It's here somewhere, but God, I can't figure out what. I'll locate it. It was Nick Van Nice's course I wanted to go over and review. That's going to bother me until I find it now. You know that? So I guess you can tell I'm a collector of things. So I collect trading stuff. I collect history books. I've collected Calvin and Hobbes. Loved Calvin and Hobbes when it was a cartoon. Obviously, it is a cartoon, but that was one of my all-time favorite. Now, my wife is one. As you can tell, things are falling apart. One of the coolest things my wife did for me when we were dating. I don't know if I want to leave this to you guys. Make someone comment about it. Do you know what this is right there? December 31st, 1995. Sunday's paper. Does anybody know what that is? That was the very last Calvin and Hobbes comic that was written. So you can hear things falling apart. So I got my work cut out for me. Get this all together. Get ready for next week to be able to move to the next stage. To take one day at a time, as I always say, and then keep it going, keep it growing. But as we got off topic a little bit, thought I'd talk about a little odds and ends. But crude oil futures, the history, made a historic move today, went negative. And those that believe that the market can't go below zero were proven wrong today. The ultimate downside trading, and I thank God I still can do things on the further out in the curve, so I was able to take advantage of some of the move. But things that's never happened before. But day trading, right now, when I looked at it, I tried to day trade a little bit of March. I was just too demanding at the time to try to trade, and working full time at and then when we went into this COVID thing right now, I lost all of my front area people that would do the front desk, receptionist, answering the phones and whatnot. So I had ended up being that person, and I worked with the exception of Easter Sunday. I worked straight through for a month. It's a month straight, one day off. So I had to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. Probably for no bonus either, though. We were, as an office, I had managed the group of girls that were there, and the one gentleman that was working for me were awesome. We had worked our office up to plus 67 in returns in an environment that from year over year, that a lot of people were going back to having it done online, right? To not go into a brick and mortar office and do their tax returns. We are able to get that to go up to on March 19th, we're up plus 67 returns year over year. So we had about a month left, a little less than a month left, and then Pennsylvania shut down. We actually were closed as a going concern, and until we were closed. They closed us up on Thursday. We had to be out, and Friday and Saturday we weren't able to work. Sunday and Sunday as well, and then Monday we had to reopen, and we had to reopen with the new rules, with the flu COVID CV-19 right now, right? With the new rules right now, and it's a Pennsylvania. I don't know if you know this, but I live in Pennsylvania, and it's pretty much it's a Democrat. Well, there's two areas that are Democrat. Allegheny County, where Pittsburgh's located, and then Philadelphia County and Philadelphia surrounding that, where Philadelphia is. That pretty much controls the state. So we have a Democratic governor, and I think the Senate is split right now. Don't quote me on that. I think Casey's still one of the senators. I don't know. I don't keep up too much with the only thing I really keep up with is local politics and who's running our area representative. That's about the only thing I keep up with as far as politics go. It's not worth, things that don't make any difference to you. Why even bother? They're not going to pay the bills right now. Obviously, did you get your stimulus money? We're able to get ours. My wife, she's been a hairstylist since she was 18 years old. She's never been unemployed, pretty much, and now she's unemployed. I filed for unemployment, trying to get that $600 payment through July 31st, right? So they're going to give it to you. Might as well take it. Um, so we're still waiting to see if she gets that $600 a week thing through the federal government. So everybody's supposed to be able to receive that, especially if you lost your job due to having to take a leave of absence due to CV-19, right? So free government money right now. So what can you say about that? So we were able to get our money. Hopefully you got yours as well. We had H&R Block was actually doing something really cool. I thought they have a thing called the Emerald card. Not that I think that's a good product. I'm not going to say that one way or the other, but they're actually adding $10 onto everyone's Emerald card as kind of to make sure that it was going to operate and work and whatnot. So they're actually a really decent company to work for. They really the Jeff Jones, the CEO, is a pretty cool guy. And all the way down the hill to my district manager, the people that I worked with that were equal to me, and the ones that I mean, we had people in the office that's been doing tax returns for 33 years. Two of them in the office have been with H&R Block. You just don't see that in today's world and society right now. People that work for one company for that many years, So it's a seasonal position, though. I mean, you're pretty much. I was hired on last week of October, and my contract expired April 17th. So, in a normal world, we would have been. And actually, the extension happened, and our office is actually physically still open, although they only kept on two managers and the district manager, and there was 8 of us all together. 6 were laid off, I guess, and then 2 were held on, managing level at the level I was at. So there was 23 offices in our district, by the way. I managed one of the 23, so it was interesting. We had a good run there until March 19th, like I talked about. Next thing you know, everything fell apart, and the world itself. I mean, my wife, my kids, it's my kids' junior year in high school. My youngest is an 8th grader. I mean, they're out of school like the rest of you guys, right? I mean, they have kids, all of them. Our kids are being homeschooled right now and using a computer and whatnot. So yeah, they had the Chromebooks already, so they're using that. But now everything's online school, online test. Everything's done through a different environment. It's been a huge, huge change of an environment right now. And we done some projects along the way, and I took my car out of the garage and we converted it over into a weight room for the kids, pretty much, so that they have, because they can't go to school, they can't lift, they can't squat, can't do all these things. So what I noticed is that this is kids that are totally active, right? I don't know about your children. My kids are totally active in sports, doing something all the time, and just took the wind out of their sails. Probably the same thing with y'all, right? Just took the wind right out of their sails. They thought that everything was going. In fact, my son's volleyball team, he plays on the boys volleyball squad. They were going to give North Allegheny and Shaler a run for their money this season, when the other side of the sticks, right, the other side of the road. I mean, they were projected to win their section, and because they brought everybody back. So there was only 2 teams in Western PA that they were thinking that might give them we call North Allegheny NAU, by the way, North Allegheny. They just a powerhouse team, good every year. Every year, if they're not into the state tournament, it's every other year they're winning it. So they're just an extremely good squad. And Shaler's squad brought back everybody. They had a junior last year, just like our squads all had juniors. So all of them were seniors. Their whole starting squad at Shaler were all senior. We're going to be seniors this year, and I feel so sorry for these kids right now that aren't able to complete their schooling in this way. It's the greatest skip day, as one school would say, right? Ha 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 ha. So just a different world that we're living in. And it changed like that. China misreported their numbers pretty much. That's what we know happened right now. So, and now we just don't know how bad is it. How bad is it right now? I mean, we've been self-quarantined. I was able to work as an essential business person up until April 17th, but now I'm in that quarantine now. We got out and got some groceries yesterday, but now we're just locked in the house. So this was the big ass project that I did, and then those that came in a little bit later, and this is my big ass project that I'm doing to clean up my room and get everything organized again and get ready for my trading year. Probably 6, 7 months going up through October, November. I want to level up 2 levels at H&R Block, get up to level 3 with them, and get ready. So I kind of, by the time I got sick of tax returns, I was done. So that's, at least I found something that I enjoy in a way. So I've been in sales my whole life, it seems like, since I got knee high to a grasshopper when I was working with my dad and showing apartments when I was a kid. So he was in commercial real estate and in apartments and whatnot. And we still have some investments in that we get paid on. Although all that stuff is, you talk about another business that's going under right now. All the money that's out there in the real estate and the apartment complex and all that stuff that's out there right now, people aren't paying their rent, right? So, and you can't evict them, and you don't want to evict them either, right? So, but you can't evict. You can't. People aren't making money right now, so they're not paying their rent. There's not enough money to go around right now, right? That's the bottom line. There's just not enough money because you've taken everyone away from being able to make that money, and you're going to see a lot of fallout. I mean, I think personally we're going to be in the greatest depression that's ever seen in the whole wide world ever. It's going to make the Great Depression look like a walk in the park. That's why I believe that we just don't know how bad this is, and most likely when they do reopen everything up, is football season going to happen this year? Are they going to be able to go back to school this year? What is the new normal? What is that going to look like? So now you see it reflected in the crude oil futures market doing something that's never been done before. We are living in historic times. We are living in times that, as great as the 80s and the 90s and the boom of the Yahoo and all the other companies that you invested in and whatnot, over all the life of all the things that I've seen and all the years that I've been a trader, this is stuff that no one's ever seen. We've never seen anything that's like this ever. So we're living in times that are actually, it's fascinating in one sense, being loving history, right? I love history. They'll be writing about this for years to come. People will be studying about this 50 years from now. What happened in 2020? Why did the world fall apart? This is all going to be studied in the history books in the future. Like we studied 1929 in the stock market crash and the Great Depression that came out of that. And FDR and the New Deal and whatnot. So what's going to happen? Can Trump stay in office right now? Is Biden looks so weak. I can't imagine the Democrats putting up Biden against Trump. But things can happen right now. There's going to be a lot of angry individuals going into November. A lot of people are going to be hurting about that time. Most likely what's going to happen is this COVID's going to come and rear its ugly head in the fall. If you follow history, if you've followed anything about history, you look at the what they call the Spanish flu, which really didn't come from Spain, by the way. It's been misnomered and misnamed. It came from Kansas. It should be called the Kansas flu. It came out of Kansas and it came out of the Army. So if you actually follow your history right now, when we call the epidemic right now, last big epidemic that happened, it happened through World War I and all the people coming back, and they just kept it quiet. And the only people that were reporting on it was the Spanish at the point. So Spain gets the moniker of in history is called the Spanish flu. Now they're actually going to call this the CCP virus. I've seen people talk about that, the Chinese Communist Party virus, CCP virus, or is this going to be an American virus? Are they going to be able to change history in the future, and this is going to be called something else because America falls and China rises? Who knows what's going to come out of this? The petrodollar. The petrodollar right now. The petrodollar is history at this point if you look at one thing. So why did all this happen? There was a squeeze. I mean, the squeeze, there's just, if you just go to the basics of economics 101 right now, right? You have supply on one side, you have demand on the other. There's a huge supply and there was no demand. Nobody wanted to buy crude oil at zero, and they couldn't even give people to take it on until it went negative. So it finally found support at minus 37 today, minus 37 in the crude oil futures in the market. So they were paying them. The crude oil people and the futures were paying people to take the inventory off their hands. First time in history that's ever happened. Very first time. That you see contagion sometimes, where you see an extension, where you see the futures, the crude oil futures being higher in the front months and lower in the other months, right? So you'll see a crude oil futures market that's higher in the front month and lower. Usually a crude oil futures is, this one's here and then the rest of them are higher. So that's a normal market, right? You have crude oil futures at 25, 30, the next month 35, and they estimate it out a year and it's sitting at $50 a barrel or whatever. Sometimes it goes back and forth, but this time it was a huge disconnect. 25 for minus 37, that's $50. $50 difference today that happened in the market, right? I saw it one time earlier and it was trading at $10. And I saw it another, it was trading at $2. And I thought, wow, this sucker's going to zero. And it went through zero, something I've never seen in my life. I never thought the futures could go below zero. I thought that is a cement floor. You hit zero and it can't go below. Well, guess what? It can. And it did. People didn't want it at zero. They didn't want it until the companies were actually having to pay people to take it off their hands. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen the rest of this year? God only knows, man. We're in historic times. It's things that it's never happened. Look at my spreadings, my day trading spreadsheet that I use. In a normal market, I look at like an ADR figure. I'll talk about that. It's at like a 1 ADR. It's like a 2 ADR. We're talking about markets that were at 7, 8, 9 ADR. That means it was $6, $7 moves on a 12p type of thing. So the gap of the market to be able to move from high to a low could go $7 to $8 a pop. Never seen that. I mean, I've seen things go 3 and 4, sometimes get up to 5 ADR, but never. And when it would, well, I'll take it back. I never seen 5 until now. I saw it get up to almost 4, and that was back in 2008. So that was day trading back there, crude oil about 2008, 2009, 2008, right around that crash that happened with the real estate market. You saw some high ADR moves in there. Wasn't able to trade this one. I mean, this is a day trading. I'm glad that I wasn't able to trade this one. I don't think that I would have, the little time that I spent at the markets, I mean, you could get 50 ticks like that and you get 50 ticks taken away from you like that too. So we're trading at a Top Step Trader right now on that first one, hitting that 50 ticks was extremely, something was going to happen an awful lot right now. So just moves against you one way. One day you're sitting on top of the moon. The next day the rug's pulled out from under you and you're out. So that's kind of the way I looked at the market right now. It's just been history. So I guess that's it. So we've been talking now almost 35 minutes. I thought I would just share with you for a little bit. Lots to do here, lots to clean up. I haven't made up my mind what I want to do with some of the pictures and whatnot that I got up here. Kids grow up. I remember a story. I'll leave you with this story and we'll let you go. When I was thinking about putting a pool in, not just a pool you put up and take down the next year, one of those I don't know, just not a fixed pool, a standing pool, right? Up, whatever. So anyway, so had really nice grass at the time, and I was very proud of that grass that I had. And I just remember one of my trading buddies said to me, as David, he just said, um, kids grow up. We say grass grows back, kids grow up, and it's so true. So at that point, I stopped treating the lawn like I used to. You have the company come through and treat the lawn, get it to that green. Now I've got dandelions in the yard, um, wildflowers in the yard. My neighbors next door to me have nice grass, and I'm the one with the weeds in the yard. So I treat it myself now. So I mean, I try to kill them as best I can. So it just, there you go, right there, right? Grass grows back, kids grow up. Take advantage of the time that you got. I guess that's the word of wisdom that I have for you as a stay-at-home dad for many years. Being able to work from my home here in the computer land and day trade, and then let's face it, as a day trader, I'm a break-even trader. I've been able to make money every year as a day trader, with the exception, I think, of 2 years. Um, but I've done really well on the positional side and spread trading and whatnot from courses I've taken. And I was taking I was looking at options again on my time off. But there's a lot more to trading than day trading. Although day trading is where it seems to be all the action, where you look at people that are out there on the YouTube of you and what they do. A lot of them are, some of the ones that are the most famous out there are front running their trading rooms. So it's a shame that people fall for that stuff still to this day. But, there's a fool born every day, they say, right? And the fool and his money are soon separated, unfortunately. All right, this is Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. I appreciate you tuning in to this video. It went in different tangents, kind of like my head. My wife says my brain works that way a lot. That's a part of that being ADD, right? Your brain, and that's probably why I gravitate to day trading, because I'm good in short bursts right now. I can concentrate really well for short periods of time, and then I have to get away from it. So, and my life now is like that. So 6 months on, 6 months off now, maybe, or 4 months on. Normally it should be 4 months on, 8 months, 4 months of tax preparing, and then 8 months off, or 3.5, whatever it is. So I wish you all well. I wish your families safety and peace. I want to put a blessing on you. And in fact, I don't normally do this, but let's just have a little prayer right now. Dear Father God, Father in heaven, I just want to send out a special blessing and prayer to all my trading friends and their families, to keep them safe, keep everyone that's out there safe. We don't know what's going on in this world, and we don't understand it all, but we do believe in you, Lord, that you have all the power, all the glory, and all the honor is yours. When we are down, what we need to do is look up to you. When a person's down, they don't need a hand out, they need a hand up. Lord, we just pray that you take care of all of my friends out there in this land, this trading land that we have not met physically, but I feel as though I've known you. I pray this prayer for their safety, for their family's safety. Be with us all. Guide, guard, and protect us. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen. Man of faith, right? Say the prayer of the powerful, or the prayer of the righteous can be powerful, or something like that. I'm not a righteous man. I have lots of faults, but I do believe in God, and I do believe in a higher, that this too shall pass, right? Y'all take care out there. God bless and take care. Stave Night out.